What's good, YouTube? My name is Dylan and these are my tips and tricks on becoming a morning person. So first off, I've definitely not been a morning person. I'm the type of guy that likes to sleep in for as long as possible, and if I had a 8:30 a.m. class, I would struggle to get up. I'd be feeling extremely groggy, pressing the snooze button a million times, and then have to rush down the door, grab whatever food I have, and then grab a coffee to go and be on my way to work in class. But last year, I've actually managed to become a morning person through these tips and tricks that I'm going to tell you now. I'm honestly telling you that becoming a morning person is so beneficial towards you. It allowed me to spend more time on myself, it's like my time. But unfortunately, since I've been working full time, I've kind of let that slip a little bit. So I want to become a morning person again. So that's kind of what this video is for. This long weekend, I have slept in for as long as possible and I'm seeing that those habits are coming back. So hopefully we can counteract that. If you'd like to join me on my journey, waking up earlier, you can definitely add me on Snapchat. I'll add a link down below. But nonetheless, we'll get straight into it. So the way that I've broken it down this time is we're actually breaking it into 3 phases with 3 steps each. Phase 1 is the nighttime routine. This is everything you want to get done before you even head into bed. So the first step is making sure you sleep early. So I'm sorry to break it to you, there's no simple way, there's no magic solution that gets you to become a morning person. I know it's super obvious, but honestly, this is what changes everything. I need to make sure that I get at least 7 to 8 hours of sleep. That's how I function the best, but this is always down to a personal preference. You have to experiment and figure out how much hours of sleep you need. So for example, if you're trying to wake up at 5:30 or at 6 and you need to make sure you have 7 hours of sleep, you should be making sure that you're in bed by 10:30 so you can get to sleep by 11. Alright, number 2 is making sure that you're avoiding brain triggers. Now I didn't really know what to call this, but essentially what I'm trying to say is that you're avoiding blue light and you're also avoiding social media. The reason why is because blue light actually messes up your circadian rhythm, and then that makes it more difficult to get to sleep and it messes up your sleep pattern. So what I recommend is 2 hours before your bedtime, you're cutting out all your social media, you're cutting out all your blue light. So the 2 apps that I'd recommend for this, to avoid blue light, you want to install something called Flux, and then to avoid using apps or websites, you can use self-control. Alright, step number 3 is just simply prepping for your next day. And the way that I do this is I just prep for work or school, just getting my bag ready, making sure I have my laptop, my notes, everything that I need is inside the backpack and ready to go. And I have all the clothes that I need that I'm going to wear tomorrow. If you prep everything the night before, then you don't have to worry about it in the morning, and that's what I definitely recommend doing, is prep for the next day before you go in your bed. Which brings us to phase 2, is just making sure you're getting quality sleep. So the way that I do this is I break it down into 3 steps as well. And the first step is to remove distractions. So the exact same step as step number 2 of phase 1, but I just wanted to highlight it again. You want to make sure that you're not using social media or blue light. So just do it, make sure you install Flux on your phone, on your laptop, or if you can just get rid of all digital things in general 2 hours before your bedtime, that's good. But I know it's not ideal for everyone, but that is what I recommend. Number 2 is setting up a really good sleep environment. So whether you need quiet, dark, or whatever, make sure that you have all of that set up. Like me personally, I tend to get really hot when I sleep, so I need to make sure my room is cool. I need to make sure that I'm not too hot underneath my blankets. And when I was sleeping in the basement, I didn't have a lot of natural light, so I actually have something called the sunrise alarm. It turns this light on around your alarm clock time, and that way you can wake up naturally. Alright, step number 3 is assist. And the way that you can do this is you get tools that help you make sure you can get to sleep. I have a pretty difficult time going to sleep, so there have been things that I've tried to use that have helped. Number 1 is things such as sleep stories, sleep hypnosis, wearing an eye mask so that if there's any lights in your room, like it can block it out, but that can also be canceled out by getting rid of all the electronics in your room. What I've actually found that helps me a lot recently is to meditate before you get to bed. That way it clears your mind out of all the things that are going on throughout the day and you can go to bed with a clear mind. Which brings us into phase number 3. This is the most exciting part because this is your morning routine. This is the whole reason that you get to wake up earlier. This is what you're going to do when you wake up earlier so that you can have more time for yourself. So step number 1 is skipping the snooze button. Now I know that you're probably really used to pressing the snooze button all the time because I definitely was. I always thought I needed that extra 5 or 15 minutes. But honestly, those 5 minutes that can end up becoming 30 minutes is definitely not worth it. What happens actually when you press the snooze button is it actually messes up your circadian rhythm. Your brain thinks you're gonna go back to sleep, but that extra 15 minutes isn't enough time for your brain to actually go into REM state, and that makes you feel even more tired or more groggy whenever you wake up. So I highly recommend skipping the snooze button and just getting straight out of bed. You wanna make sure you have the most amount of energy when you're gonna go tackle the day. Now, the first week, I'm telling you, is going to be super difficult, but you got to power through it because the benefits of waking up early are so worth it. But we're going to get through this. You can join me on my journey of becoming a morning person. I recommend it. It's definitely worth it. Step number 2 is the actual action item. This is where you're developing your morning routine. So for me, I don't work out as often as I should, as you can tell, but that's what my action item is going to be. I'm going to be either going to the gym or going for a walk. You want to keep this action item as simple as possible because you're going to want to be able to do it every day. My goal is just 5 minutes of exercise. That's it. It can either be a walk, it could be indoor working out, or going to the gym, because more likely than not, after you start this action item, you're going to want to do more. So that's what I'm going to plan for. But the goal is just, that's it, 5 minutes right when you wake up. Either go for a walk or just whatever it is, any form of exercise in the morning. So step number 3 is to reward yourself. You know, you've put in all this work before you get to bed, making sure you get quality sleep, creating a new habit in the morning. That's something to be proud of, and you want to be able to reward yourself for that. In Charles Duhigg's book, The Power of Habit, he's breaking down habit formation in 3 steps, which is the cue, the action, and then the reward. My cue is the sunrise alarm. Then my action is to get up, put on my workout clothes, and either go for a walk or go for a workout. And then my reward is something that I love. I love coffees, but I'm super frugal, meaning that I don't really like to spend too much money. But for the sake of building a habit, you need to reward yourself somehow, so I think it's worth it. So those are my tips and tricks to hopefully become a morning person. If you'd like to join me on my journey to waking up earlier, you can definitely add me on Snapchat. The link's down below. Let me know what you guys thought about this video. If you have anything that you're struggling with trying to wake up in the morning, or if you got some tips and tricks that I didn't mention, comment those down below as well. Hopefully you guys found this video helpful. Thanks for watching my video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I will catch you guys in the next one. See ya. And my hair is super long, so